California's wildfire seasons are getting longer and more destructive. This year broke the record for the largest fires in the history of the state.
You'll see a very large red part of the pie representing the August complex, which is now the largest in California's history. You can see it makes up more than all of the fires that occurred between 1932 and 1999. If that's not proof point testament to climate change, I don't know what is.
This year alone, at least 32 lives lost, more than 10,000 homes destroyed.
It's the same fire.
Even those who are used to living with wildfires are getting tired.
I've known people who lived up in the mountains since the 30s. They've never dealt with this. The fuel has just gotten heavier and heavier. I know a lot of people are getting ready to move. They don't want to deal with it.
We're within the National Forest right outside Hayfork, California, and what you're seeing here is a very typical scene in many parts of California. This was the site for the so-called Blue Fire back in 2015, and yet all this debris that was left behind, the dead trees and heavy vegetation, are now considered dangerous fuel for the current fires that are raging in the area.
When combined with dry and windy conditions, that fuel leads to what firefighters call extreme fire behavior.
We're really good at keeping fire out of homes, but that particular day, that particular run, you weren't going to put anybody out ahead of it.
Decades of successful fire suppression have left tons of fuel lying on California's forest lands, but state officials make the case that climate change is making it worse.
If we ignore that science and sort of put our head in the sand and think it's all about vegetation management, we're not going to succeed together protecting Californians.
Okay, it'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
Hey, well, I don't think science knows, actually.
President Trump has called climate change a hoax and threatened to cut federal aid to California for its mismanagement of forest lands. But scientists say there are several factors.
The forest management is a real driver of the severity of that fire and the size of it. But there is a climate signal in there as well. I mean, the temperatures just don't drop the way they used to at night. And that's pretty consistent with all the climate change models.
Environmental research suggests that future climate change-induced wildfires will cost the U.S. between $10 billion to $62.5 billion annually by 2050. While many in California are already paying a price, those casting their ballots will also be deciding where the U.S. will stand on the fight against climate change. It is Tiyansan, CGTN, Los Angeles.